There we go. Okay. Well, good evening. Thank you for joining us, and our apologies for the runaround with a few different links there. The software system that we're using to stream this crashed on us, and it took a little while to reset, but we believe we're good to go now. So at this point, um, we'll get started. My name is John Bennett. I'm the Executive Director here at Cottonwood Classical Preparatory School, and tonight you'll get a chance to meet a few of us who work here at the school and organize academic programs and work through the lottery process. And we will try to keep this as informal as we can while still going through everything. So in the live chat, part of the benefit of joining us live is to ask your questions. So feel free to throw in questions in that live chat and we will answer them a little bit during the session and then certainly at the end. So we'll start with the history of CCPS, the mission, and that'll be me talking through that, and then our assistant director will come on and talk about a day in the life of a CCPS student and supports that we have here at the school, and then I'll come back on to talk about the future of the school, which is really exciting, and there's some big things happening right now. And then after that, our registrar, Jackie Geertz, will come on to speak about the application process and the lottery. And then at the end, we'll answer questions, just the sort of net of everything that comes up in the scope of the evening. Okay, so history of the school. Cottonwood Classical is a charter school that was founded in 2006 as a state authorized charter and opened in August of 2008 at the Unser Racing Museum campus on Montano. And it was started by the two Lynns, Lynn Barr and Lynn Carey. They were lifelong educators who had a vision for creating a public school that would really have a high level of academic quality and rigor in college preparation. And after quite a bit of research, they came up with this strategy, which comprises the core of our mission and focus as a school, which is to be an IB World School with the diploma program, and to produce engaged citizens who are lifelong learners by way of the Paideia method. So we'll talk a little bit about those two elements here. So Paideia is a rigorous training of the student and their approach to learning, and it includes a lot of intellectual coaching projects and seminars. It's very student driven. We ask a lot of our students in terms of their ownership in the classroom. The teacher will do some amount of lecture, we call it didactic instruction, but we put a lot on the students. So they come from all over the city when they get here, and we ask all of them when they get here to find their voice. They learn how to annotate texts. They learn how to engage in a seminar with 20 other of their peers. It's a pretty serious learning environment, but we try to have a lot of fun and help students build that inquiry that they need in order to be successful in the later years. And as students progress through our school from 6th grade through 12th grade, they grow more and more in their skill, in particular with seminars and with annotating texts and mathematical inquiry, so that they can be prepared adequately for the IB diploma program. So it's just a bit more information about the seminar and an image of some of our older students engaged in the seminar there. It's the idea here is that participants systematically question and examine issues and principles related to a particular content and articulate different points of view. So instead of sitting there and having a teacher explain to you what the author's intent was for a text, the students are analyzing and making their own interpretations together. All right. And we are the first publicly funded IB diploma school in the state of New Mexico. This little flyer talks about some of the benefits of IB. I'm frequently asked about the difference between AP and IB. And what I would say to you is that they're both college level, but AP is more focused on 1 year memorization of content with a little bit of application. And IB is mostly 2-year courses where there's not much memorization, there's almost no multiple choice. It is critical thinking and application and expansion of content. You have to demonstrate true mastery of the material that you've been learning and the sort of approaches to thinking and learning with that particular material. The diploma program is just for 11th and 12th grade, and I know many of the families viewing this presentation live or recorded are looking at middle school, but I would encourage you to think about the opportunity at Cottonwood Classical Preparatory School is a 6th through 12th grade opportunity, and this is what we're preparing our students for. So in 11th and 12th grade, our students engage in the diploma program. It asks them to do rigorous study in 6 different groups, as you can see here around that second circle. And then in addition to that, they have a core class where they do theory of knowledge, which is sort of like a self-reflective philosophy course. They write a college level extended essay between 2,000 and 4,000 words um, that is sort of built around a unique research question that they learn to write. And they do all of the research for that. And then creativity, activity, and service, which is CAS. So our students do service work, they are physically active, and they do multiple different creative pursuits as part of those last 2 years. And then they write reflections about it, which is gives them a huge leg up in the college admissions process, because very few colleges and universities that are highly selective really pay a lot of attention to GPA and test scores only. They will look at those things, but they are much more interested in, once you've met certain criteria in those areas, who are you as a person? What are your passionate pursuits? What are you going to add to this particular campus? And our students with CAS experience are able to speak to that pretty articulately. And then this is sort of the soft skill of what we're building through 6th through 12th grade as an IB World School. This is the IB Learner Profile. So there's 10 characteristics of an IB learner that you can see here, and we are working to build those in our students from day one. And our students that are able to be here for all 7 years, can speak to you pretty eloquently about how they've grown in different areas, where they feel strongest, where they've had the most growth embedded in their time here at CCPS. But this is something we come back to, and every year we give out IB Learner Profile Awards to students in every grade level. All right, I'm going to bring over now Mrs. Carissa Petrie, who is our Assistant Director, to speak about a day in the life. So just one moment.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Carissa Petrie. I'm the school's assistant director. Well, let's start with what the daily schedule looks like. So our students start the week going to all their classes. So they have a regular full day schedule on Mondays. And then throughout the rest of the week, they have what's called an alternating block. So they have their odd classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays, their even classes on Wednesdays and Fridays. And they have advisory twice a week. On Wednesdays and Fridays, there's early release. And so just, be aware that students get out a little bit earlier on those 2 days to allow for some professional development for the staff. It's very likely that there will be some schedule changes over the next year due to some legislative changes in the amount of time that students need to be in school. So this is going to be a change that's going to be happening all throughout the state, not just Cottonwood. At Cottonwood, we have some very high expectations for our staff, our students, and our families. Our staff puts our students first. And so our goal as a staff is to help our students to grow as scholars and as people. We pride ourselves on communicating. If you are a Cottonwood family, you know that we communicate frequently. We send emails letting you know what's going on, what meetings that you can attend and participate in, about sports activities. We send you our announcements. If you are if you are new to Cottonwood, you'll get comfortable with our Schoology system, where you can look at your students' classes and their grades and their assignments. Um, and then we really look at our students' growth mindset. So we look at the students and where they're at and where they could possibly be. And we dream big because we expect a lot from our students. Our students are developing their IB profile traits, and so we honor all of those different parts of our students. So we look at them not just as academics, but we look at their moral development as well. We teach our students to communicate using the Paideia method. And so in classes, our students will participate in seminars. They're going to do demonstrations and presentations. They're answering questions in class. They're challenging each other respectfully. And then our students themselves are practicing the growth mindset. And so they may not have mastered something, but they're going to keep working to master the content. And then our parents are really our backbone at Cottonwood. We really utilize our families. Our families provide us with so much support. They send students to school that are well prepared to learn. When we share information with them, they incorporate that into their family life and with their students. They support their students even when school is hard, and sometimes school can be challenging. They encourage their students to do their best. And then our families partner with our staff. And so if staff reaches out to our families work with our staff to help their student get over whatever hump they're struggling with. At Cottonwood, we wear the CCPS polo shirt. It now comes in many different colors. It used to just be the blue polo that you see in that top left corner. Every day, our students wear a lanyard and ID so that we can easily identify who our students are. And then we wear spirit wear throughout the week as well. So if you have Cottonwood sportswear, you can wear that. Our students wear college gear on Fridays. We're a college prep school, so we really want to encourage our students to think very early about where they might want to attend college. Our students can wear most types of hairstyles and pants. We are still a prep school, so we do expect kids to dress professionally for students. So no huge rips in the clothes, but little rips are okay. Hair colors, that are not, really crazy are fine as well. Our students in general tend to dress very respectfully and practically because they have things to do, and our students are very driven to do their work and do it well. At Cottonwood, our behaviors are centered around those IB profile traits. So when we're reflecting on behaviors, we're looking at improving with an eye to those IB learner profile traits. We practice the golden rule and restorative practices. And so if there is an issue between students, we ask students to work it out respectfully. If there's a need for an apology, we ask that that be done in a very reflective way. And then we try to keep our environment as safe as possible for our students. So if we notice anything amiss, we try to take care of that very quickly so that the learning environment is as consistent as possible. And as you probably know, because you've driven by the school, we've been in construction. So that has been an issue, but even so, our school is still clean and bright, and teachers are still putting up beautiful bulletin boards. And so we work on that even in adverse conditions. And we're hoping that next year you get to see the school in a beautiful condition with our beautiful new building. We have brought in Rachel's Challenge over the years to work with our students. Rachel was a student that was killed at the Columbine massacre in Colorado in the late 1990s, and her family created a foundation based on her personal diaries. And what her family found after she passed away was that Rachel, they knew she was inspirational, but by reading her writings, they found out how inspirational she was. And so Rachel's Challenge has been brought into Cottonwood so that we can encourage our students to really seize the day and their opportunities, and to make time and put energy into their friendships and their family relationships. If you are a family of an incoming sixth grader, your student is probably very excited about getting a locker. We have lockers for everyone. Um, some of our students choose not to use their lockers, but everyone is offered a locker. The school environment is very safe, and so some students don't even use a lock, although you are always welcome to use a lock on your locker. You can decorate your locker with magnets, paper, anything that's not permanent. Our academic program is accelerated at Cottonwood in order to help our students be ready for IB in 11th and 12th grade. Our 6th and 7th grade students take an accelerated math class. Our students in 7th grade are taking the formal pre-algebra class. In 6th and 7th grade, the students have technology, they have a performing arts class, they have PE, and they have a visual arts class for their electives. And they take each of those classes for one semester. If your student is entering after 8th grade, there will be a need for a credit check. We start our high school level classes in 8th grade in order to get students ready for that IB program. So if you are admitted through the lottery, then Ms. Geertz, our registrar, will do a credit check with your student. And there may be some classes to take over the summer in order to be prepared for incoming as a ninth grader or up. We have lots of activities at Cottonwood. We have a very, very robust group of activities, and they change based on what our students are interested in. So you can see from some of these activities there, and if you have older children here, you know that these activities have changed. Right now, we have a lot of interest in gardening. We have a lot of interest in Dungeons and Dragons. We have a lot of crafters, and so there's a crafting club. Um, and then we have some clubs that have been very steadfast. We have our student government, our science Olympiad. We have a very, very engaged speech and debate team and mock trial and We the People team. And then we have sports as well. We participate in the New Mexico Athletics Association, the NMAA. And so we have high school level sports through the NMAA, but we also have middle school level sports, and we participate in the Charter League as well. Like we talked about at the beginning, we do have advisory a couple of times a week, and each student has an advisory class. They have an advisory class with a teacher who teaches in their grade level. Usually it's one of their teachers. And that teacher develops a little bit more of a relationship with the students in their advisory because they're checking grades and they're contacting parents and they're meeting with parents for student led conferences. And in the advisory, there's also a social emotional check in component. So that's happening during that advisory time as well. Um, for all of our grade levels, but particularly for our older students, there's some college and career work done during the advisory time. We have after school um, programming. So we have what we call study club where students can stay until 5:30 Monday through Thursday and do some homework. There's teachers available who are monitoring the study club. There's tutoring available. There's clubs. We have a very exciting musical that's happening, and we usually do one a semester. Um, and then there's just other clubs that are happening. So we have a lot of outreach with our students. At Cottonwood, we have a counselor and a social worker, and they are both full time. They help to manage the advisory social emotional work that's done in the advisory classes. And then we have a lot of students who have a lot to give, and so they participate in clubs like Natural Helpers, where they can help other students. We have our Gay Straight Alliance, we have our Safe Zones, and other clubs that help our students to help each other. Cottonwood is a public school, and we honor special education IEPs. We have integrated classrooms and reverse inclusion. So we have some small group math and English classes. We collaborate on our IEPs with our teachers and with our families and our students. At this age, our students participate fully in their IEPs. And so students are really encouraged to advocate for themselves and to really understand their accommodations and modifications. We honor gifted IEPs. And we have a process for incoming students on IEPs that if you are admitted, you will see through our paperwork that you're going to complete for registration. We also honor 504 plans. And then if your student is currently in the SAP process, any kind of interventions that are being done, we can carry over to Cottonwood. That paperwork will also be shared through the registration packet. We are looking at interventions and tracking them. So if there's certain things that are being done, we want to see if they're effective. So that's intervention tracking. And we have intervention classes in math and English language arts, ELA, for grades 6 through 9. And that's a block of time on top of a math or a language arts class if that's something that we find that a student needs. All right, I'm going to hand it back to Mr. Binnert, who will talk about the future at CCPS.
All right, I'm back. And you got to have a very quick, almost flipbook style review of everything we've covered so far. There's only 6 or 7 slides left, so I just want to reiterate that we have that live chat on YouTube. We've just gone through the core of our programming and the day-to-day here at CCPS, so this is a good time to throw some more questions out there, and we'll answer some of them in the chat, and others we will answer live at the end of the session. So, future at CCPS. Uh, I'm going to just talk about this in three parts, and it's very facilities focused because a lot of the time, the way that we prioritize our facility improvement shows our emphasis on program improvement. So happening right now, and Mrs. Petrie is speaking to this, there's a 24,000 square foot addition that is nearly completed. I was there today looking at classrooms that have carpet and paint and lights that are turned on. And in the next 3 or 4 weeks, it will open up, which is really exciting. And you can see here it includes a black box theater, full-size gym, a new music classroom, a new health office, counseling suite, and some more stuff that's really exciting, including a sixth grade hallway, which I'll show you in a moment. And then the year after that, which is next year, so if you are brought in on the lottery, your child is brought in, they will get to experience this hopefully really early in the school year by September. We are right now in our library space, but it's only about 320 square feet. We will be opening a 2,200 square foot library learning commons that is connected to a new technology lab, and then we'll be increasing the size of some of our high school classrooms. And by the middle of the summer, we should have completed a multi-purpose field that is about the size of a middle school soccer field, and then we're adding almost 1,000 linear feet of fencing and security to our campus, which is really exciting. And then our facilities master plan has some more growth and improvements to our existing building to make classrooms larger, and then we have some space on our campus still to build more. So here we go. I'll show you. Pictures are always worth a lot more. And I encourage you, because this is, depending on the size of the screen that you're watching this on, you may not be able to see many of the words that are here. I would encourage you to drive by, come by campus. You'll see a very large building being added on. So you can see there the new gym, and you can see that there's a black box theater, which our musical Legally Blonde will be held in this March. We have some new classroom space, a new health office, new bathrooms. It's really exciting. And then our current gym, which is about the size of a typical YMCA gym, will become the cafeteria. And then you can see at the top of this image, there's a large blue space with a little green rectangle. That's the new library learning commons and tech lab that will be coming in, and those 3 larger classrooms. All right. So we have a few different organizations that I think are really important for parents to be aware of. A school cannot fully operate on its own. It's very, very difficult. We are habitually underfunded in public schools, and it helps to have as much support as possible to supplement and help us expand facilities. And in fact, in the state of New Mexico, public schools can't have debt, so you need to have either a 501c3 foundation, which we have, or some other way to grow facilities through bond issuances and additional debt. So we have our foundation, which is a 501c3. This organization holds the debt. They help secure funding for facilities. We worked with them to purchase 4 acres of adjacent land a few years ago, and then most recently to build the addition. And they will be paying for the improvements for the library learning commons and tech lab here pretty soon. So that's one organization. They are run by volunteers. About 2/3 of them are current parents who are knowledgeable in real estate and finance, and really have done a tremendous amount to help the school continue to grow. Then there's the parent-teacher organization, and this is a day-to-day support group that the interim president is actually Jackie Geertz, who you're going to see very soon here to talk about registration issues. She has been a long-time supporter of our PTO. They do quite a bit of teacher and day-to-day class support and programmatic support. They just purchased a new LED marquee. I think it's 4 foot by 10 foot that will be on the side of our new building addition. And they sponsor our core lunch program. And we'll talk more about that in the Q&A if it comes up. But that's something we've been proud to offer for several years. Is we have multiple vendors that come in and families have a chance to purchase lunch, and then the little bit of margin that comes in from that, the PTO is able to use to really support the school. So that's a wonderful day-to-day support that we have. And then finally is the Parent Advisory Council, or the PAC. This was included with our charter as a group that ensures that the parent voice is heard around the bigger issues of the school. So this group meets about once a month, and I would say every 2 months it tends to be a pretty robust agenda where we're looking at matters of school calendar, or most recently we talked about bathroom and locker room policies. Next week, we're going to be looking at threat assessment protocols. So that's a lot of what the Parent Advisory Council does. And both the PTO and the PAC, and actually also the foundation, all three groups have representation at our governing council, which makes policy decisions and passes the budget for the school. Okay, the moment that some of you have been waiting for, the application lottery waitlist and that process. I'm going to bring up Jackie Geertz, our registrar, and local know-it-all. Just one moment.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jackie Geertz, and I am the registrar, and I also oversee the lottery and enrollment process. And as Mr. Bennett said, many other things here at Conwood, but I would not say I'm the local know-it-all. So really quickly, I just want to cover, what you're all here to probably hear about. The lottery application opens on February 1st at 9 a.m. The link will be up earlier, but it will not open until 9 a.m. The lottery application will close on February 28th at 11:59 p.m. So a couple of things that I just want to go over with everybody, tidbits on how it works out best for everyone. In the application, please provide an email address that you will have access to 24/7 through October 2023. Because you don't want to miss any emails coming through. You will receive emails. Some will be from myself possibly, or Julie Green, my assistant, but most of them will be coming through an email that we will ask you to save here shortly, so that you can not have any of our important emails go to spam or trash. So if you save us as a safe sender or receiver, then you should get everything. The lottery drawing, of course, is March 17th at 9 a.m. And you will receive an email to the email that you included in the application no later than 3 p.m. on March 17th telling you if you've been offered a seat through the lottery or what your waitlist status is for your child. With the current lottery program in its third year, we no longer have to post wait lists to our school windows for you to come and see, or to the school website. Lottery results, waitlist status, and continued waitlist updates are sent to the email address you provide in the application. You also have the ability at any time to remove your student from a waitlist if you have chosen another option for your child. So again, it's really important, February 1st at 9 a.m. And the link is on our website under admissions, and then you go to the lottery tab, and it does close at 11:59 p.m. on February 28th. And the lottery draw will be March 17th at 9 a.m. So a couple of things that we're going to be doing differently this year, that if you've been in the lottery process in the past with us, or people that have, we're changing up our deadline dates a little bit from the time that we make offers. So with the first round offer, which is the one that you will be receiving on the day of the lottery draw, the deadline for you to accept or decline will be March 24th at 9 p.m. You must accept the offer through the link that is in the email you receive from us. We will not accept an email from you stating that you accept the offer, and we will not assume that you are accepting the offer. So if you do not accept or decline through that email link by 9 p.m. on March 24th, you have lost your spot for your child for the incoming for the next school year. Waitlist offers will begin as early as March 31st. So once we go through the first round from the lottery, any seats that are declined, we will then turn around and start pulling off the wait list. There will be the first round wait list, which is the one that will start on March 31st. You will receive 4 days to accept or decline that offer. Again, using the link in the email that you receive from us. The second wait list round, date to be determined, you will receive 3 days to accept or decline the offer. Third wait list round, date to be determined, you will receive 2 days to accept or decline the offer. And by the fourth wait list round and any future rounds, you will receive 24 hours to accept or decline the offer. So when we look at the application, it's a very short application. Takes 5 minutes to complete. We only ask probably 5 or 6 questions, and no essays or supplemental documents needed. So this is not something that you need to prepare for. When it opens, you just go in and fill it out. The date and time stamp that we receive your application does not impact the lottery results at all. So you truly have from 9 a.m. on the 28th or on the 1st to 11:59 on the 28th to complete your application. But if you miss that deadline of 11:59 on February 28th, you have no options. So you will not, there is nothing we can do. You will have to wait until next year to put your child through the lottery. Do not submit duplicate applications, because we have to go through and we throw out duplicates. And so it's really important that you only put in one application for every child that is eligible to attend Cottonwood for the 23-24 school year. The application asks for, so this is a biggie, the application asks for legal parent guardian information. If both parent and guardian have legal custody, you must include all information for both. If you do not, and we are contacted by parent guardian not listed with proof of custody, the application, seat offer, or acceptance could be in jeopardy. So if you're a blended family, whatever the case may be, if both parents have custody, please list both parents on the application. Make sure the email address again that you are using, you have access 24/7 through October 2023. Because that is, pretty much after October, the likelihood of seat offers becoming available are slim. Because if we're meeting our average of one teacher to every 20 students, as our mission states, then we would have no seats that would open up. So as reference, it's usually around October that we know where we're at. Please make the no reply registration, and I know Julie's going to put it in the chat box here also, no reply registration at powerschool.com, a safe email that you can receive email from. This is where you will receive most correspondence through the lottery and the waitlist process is the no reply registration at powerschool.com. If you're not receiving something when you put the application in, if you do not receive a confirmation, go to your spam and your trash and make sure that it didn't go there. And don't contact us until you've actually looked through your spam and your trash so that we can just cover all bases before we try to work through whatever the issue may be. And again, if you make us a safe email sender, then you should receive everything and you should not miss any offers or changes that are coming up in the wait list. So when we talk about a wait list, once we run the lottery, every student is run through the lottery. The number of seats that we have available, that we know are available on March 17th, those are figured out through our current student registration for next year that we are doing at the same time that we're running the application window. And then we take into account any eligible siblings that are now coming in for current families, and then any new staff members, children that are not attending yet that can attend next year. So those are all taken in account throughout the application window of February 1st to February 28th, so that by March 17th, we have a pretty good idea of what our seat availability looks like on March 17th. That doesn't mean that won't change in May or June when school is out and then families find that they're moving out of state or things have changed for them. Then we may have new things that could pop up. So we may only have 10 7th grade seats on March 17th, and we will fill those 10 seats. But in June, we all of a sudden might have 10 more seats in 7th grade open up, and we will fill those off of the wait list. So the wait list is fluid. It's constantly changing. And so just because you didn't get pulled in the lottery does not mean that your chance is over, because we will be pulling as long as there are seats available. We will email bi-weekly status updates for the wait list to everyone. Wait lists are always available for your viewing. So as long as you keep the email, the original lottery results email, you always have the link to be able to go view where your child is on the wait list. But we will also send out bi-weekly updates on waitlist status. Waitlists are only for current school year. They do not carry over. So you're putting your child in the lottery for the 23-24 school year. And if they do not get called in, then you will have to go to enter the lottery again the following year if you're still interested in having your child possibly attend CCPS. We do have a sibling rule. So our new system, basically, if one in a multiple birth, so if you have twins or triplets, is offered a seat, the other multiple birth siblings will be offered a seat as well. Any additional siblings must have submitted an application through the 23-24 lottery application process to be considered for the sibling rule. If one sibling is offered a seat and accepts, and then other siblings will be placed on the sibling priority wait list. This wait list is not visible to you, but is based on the date and timestamp of the accepted lottery seat offer. So the first child that's offered a seat, depending when you accept it, that is where you're going to land. Your siblings will land on their priority wait list. We check the wait list the priority wait list, prior to pulling any additional students off of the original wait list. So we always go, and our goal is to always get as the whole family in if we possibly can. So a couple of do's and don'ts. Don't miss the application window. A missed application is a missed opportunity for the 23-24 school year. Do verify that you have chosen the correct grade that your child will be in for the 23-24 school year. This is really important because if you choose the wrong grade for your child and we take them through the lottery process and they're pulled for 7th grade, but they really needed to be pulled for 6th grade, we can't just move them over. We have to move them to the end of the 6th grade wait list. So please verify that the grade that you pick on the application is the correct grade for that child for next year, the 23-24 school year. Do verify that you are applying for your student and not yourself. I know that's kind of funny. Who would do that? We receive many applications for mom and dad because you're just clicking through and filling stuff out, and then we have the wrong names. So make sure that in the student section that you have put your child's legal name. Don't miss a seat offer. Click on the icon in your lottery results email to accept or decline in the results email. A missed acceptance results in being placed on the removal list and you've lost your opportunity. So it's really important that you use the icon that comes in through that email to accept or decline. Please don't call the school with lottery questions, but do email us at ccps.lottery@cottonwoodclassical.org if you have any questions. This email is checked by Julie and myself. We will get those questions answered. If you call the school, you may end up talking to multiple people who are that may not have all the right information. So don't call, just email. You'll get a much quicker response. And here is the biggie. We had an open house and we've had a lot of people contact us since our open house that they were not able to attend and they want to know about tours. So tonight, anyone on this link, you have the opportunity to sign up for a tour before anybody else gets the link and it's put on our website tomorrow. So we've had a very high demand. So use the link in the chat to sign up. We will add this link to the admissions page tomorrow. Sign up tonight, and it's your first chance to get in before anyone else does. So that's all I have regarding the lottery and the enrollment process. Does anybody have any questions right now? I'll see a chat.
I think if you could reiterate the twin question, just one more time.
Okay. So it looks like we have a question regarding some clarification on the sibling rule. So again, if you have multiple births, so you have twins, triplets, quadruplets, you will fill out the application and it takes all of their information. But then they are put through the lottery separately. But when one is accepted, then any of the multiple birth siblings are accepted also. So you will receive an email for, I believe, each one of your multiple birth children that you will have to accept. But you do not have to complete 3 applications. So in the application process, you're filling out 1 application for multiple births. But then when we run them through the lottery, they're all put through the lottery. They will all be, if there's an offer made, all of the multiple birth siblings will be made an offer at the same time, and you will have to accept all of them. That being said, if you have twins, and now you have another child who's not part of the twin, the twins are pulled in, then the other child would be put on the priority wait list, or vice versa. So if the other child is pulled and offered something through the lottery and the twins were not, then the twins would be put on the priority wait list. And if we pulled one twin, we would pull both. Or, yeah, we would pull both. So I hope that kind of clears that up. And then again, the sibling rule for all of your children, no multiple births. You have to fill out an application for every child. So with the multiple birth, you're doing the multiple birth, but if you have other children, you must fill out applications for those other children. And then if you have no multiple births in your family, but you have 4 children that are all eligible, then you'll have to fill out 4 applications. If one is pulled, the other 3 are not, they will go on the priority wait list. And then as soon as seats become available in those grades, we will look at our priority wait list before going to the regular wait list to see if there's any siblings that we need to offer seats for. Any other questions?
I think people are just looking for the tour link, which I think Julie or Ashley will put in there, and then the for Power School. I think really when the application will be live again and where to find it.
The application goes live February 1st at 9 a.m. and closes February 28th at 11:59 p.m. The lottery draw is March 17th at 9 a.m. And the first round of lottery polls, whether we're offering a seat or you're being sent a waitlist status, everybody that puts an application in will receive something by 3 p.m. on March 17th that tells you you're either being offered a seat at a grade level or that your child has been placed on the wait list. Anything else?
I think they're just waiting for a couple for Julie to put in the email address that was promised earlier for the no reply, and then
Okay.
the link for tours. But I think that's it.
Okay. Good luck, everyone.
All right. So for the Q&A section, I know a lot of the questions have been getting answered in the chat. And I know there's a few things pending. So the no reply email, the link to sign up for tours, and the bus schedule, it looks like. Oh, is that linked somewhere? Okay, it's not coming up in the chat. Or at least, yeah, it's not. Okay, so we'll keep working on making sure that that gets posted there. So I'm going to go through now and just add a few extra comments to some of the questions and just encourage a few more questions to come through. So I know one of the first questions I saw was about the orchestra, and it was answered that we don't have an orchestra, but we do have an after-school chamber music club where we've had a number of students who've been in the New Mexico Youth Symphony who have been involved with that particular club. We are with current facility or with near future facilities efforts going to create a very large instrumental room where we may be able to start doing more with orchestral music and sort of building some of those skills. So visual and performing arts is an area where we've grown by about 20% in our staffing and programming, and we'll continue to make further improvements there. So we'll work on getting that that bus link to post correctly, but I wanted to mention that there are 7 buses, and I know Mrs. Weaver put in the chat that they're all over Albuquerque and up to Rio Rancho. So if you're from the Rio Rancho area or Corrales, you might be familiar with Haynes Park. So we go as far northwest as Haynes Park. We have a ton of locations in the center of the city, and then we have stops as far south as the rail runner station for the Sunport. So we really do send those 7 buses all throughout the city. And then some questions about dual credit and college. And we are proud to say 100% of our students are admitted to universities, and it's something that we are really proud of. And our alumni come back and and tell us how well prepared they feel, particularly relative to a lot of their peers. Um, that's really exciting. Dual credit and college credit. One thing that's really important to know is that students who participate in the IB diploma program are able to earn quite a bit of college credit, um, 20 to 50 credit hours, depending on the university that they go to. So they're not, by not doing like a CNM or dual credit type course, they're not losing out on that time. They are still able to get quite a bit of college credit by doing well in those courses and sitting for exams. And then, as Ms. Geert said, we do have some students who will, on top of their schedule here, do some dual credit work. And there's a process through her office for students to get approved to do some amount of dual credit. And I saw another question on here that I wanted to hit on. I know there's a lot of questions about how many open spots we have. It is variable, and keep in mind that siblings of currently enrolled students can change that number. So if we have 140 spots for a grade, we first have to subtract the number of siblings that we would have. And the reason we can't give an exact number is because, as was mentioned earlier, we are getting re-registration from our currently enrolled families while also launching the application window. Okay, let me kind of work through here and see if we're missing anything else on this.
I think that the link is being blocked. Like I think YouTube isn't allowing me to post links because I'm posting them and Julie tried and it's not coming up.
It won't allow a link at all.
It's not our sign up genius. It's like YouTube isn't allowing.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I can check our website tomorrow.
Okay.
Or I can
We'll put it on tonight. Okay. So, so I don't know if you all heard the ambient chatter there, but YouTube is blocking the posting of links to the bus schedule and that no reply email and the tour link. So we'll get all of that on our lottery page by first thing tomorrow morning. So you, by being here live, you have that inside information that other people don't. So make sure to look out for that. It's possible to get posted tonight. Yeah, which thing here? There it is. So there is, if you want to type it in, you can see the school tours link there, and you should still be able to access that tonight. But you can also look for it by first thing tomorrow before the general public has the opportunity to sign up for those tours. Couple other questions here. Chess Club, yes. In fact, this year for the first time, we have an NMAA competitive chess team competing at the high school level. So that's really exciting for us. And in general, just to reiterate, we try to, like Mrs. Petrie said, our activities and even athletics can change year to year based on student interest. So chess club, chess team, in fact, is a good example of that, where we had some very motivated students who wanted to be able to compete. Esports is another example where we didn't used to have an esports team, but we had a lot of interest, and there are now college scholarships even for esports. So that's something. This year we've had a drop in interest. We haven't had a team that's been competing. That's something that I could see us returning to next year. I see a question here for what time the bus arrives for pickup and drop off. I don't have that in front of me, but I believe the pickup at Haynes Park in the morning is a little after 7 a.m. And it returns to Haynes Park somewhere around 3:25 or 3:30. And then keep in mind we do have after school on-campus opportunities for students until 5:30 Monday through Thursday. We don't have that on Friday, but we do have it the rest of the week so that families have the option to come to just come late, pick their child up. I see a question here about testing or documentation requirements for the lottery. There are no testing requirements, and as Ms. Geert said, the lottery process, even the application, it's just a few minutes. It's really basic information about names and email addresses. We have an open and fair lottery process. Documentation would be on the registration side. So Assuming that your child is successful in the lottery and you've accepted that spot, then the next step would be a registration packet, and Mrs. Weaver has answered this question in the chat, that you would do a little bit later in the spring. And that's where we would collect up all that information from you to make sure we can successfully integrate your child and bring them in. Soccer, we have had we have a middle school charter league team for soccer, and we actually have been surveying our community about the idea of a high school soccer team, and we have not yet made a decision about that. At this point in time, our students in the high school that play soccer compete for their neighborhood high school. So just keep in mind in general, if there's a high school sport that we do not have, your child can still compete at their neighborhood high school. So we have had quite a number of soccer players on state championship 5A and 6A soccer teams who go to school here. We've also had football players, baseball players, and even cheerleaders who have been involved in those sports at other schools. So that's always a possibility as well. And there's, I know there's a lot of questions about numbers, and it can be pretty tricky. I see Ms. Garretts has answered that question for 6th grade, where we tend to have a lot of applicants, but we also have been working hard on increasing our number of spots because we do want to be open and accessible to as many students as possible. And in fact, this year we had our charter renewal. Charter schools in New Mexico have to be renewed every 5 years, and our turn was this year. We were renewed for another 5-year span to 2028, and in that process, our authorizer, which is the Public Education Commission, the state of New Mexico, issued an enrollment cap increase to 1,000 students. And although we're not looking to be at 1,000 students, it does give us the flexibility to offer some more spots in some of our middle school grades. Okay, looks like that is it at this time for questions. Oh, I see a couple more coming in. Yeah, so there's if you go to, and this is going to sound a little silly, but if you go to cottonwoodclassical.com, our website is cottonwoodclassical.org. Cottonwoodclassical.com will bring you to the Zia Graphics school store for spirit wear and t-shirts. So that will give you a sense of what our polos cost and some of the sort of official school gear. Just keep in mind that we also will have multiple different times throughout the school year where we sell spirit gear that might range from $10 to $50 or $60 depending on what it is, and how many of them we print. There also through our PTO, there's a uniform exchange once or twice a year where there's a limited number of free polos available for families. As our students get older, they get bigger and they tend to outgrow polos, and so we just try to keep that going as well. And then the tour link, it's also on the page. You got it in the description. Look at that. Okay, so Mrs. Weaver says it is now in the description box as well. The tour link to sign up for tours on February 10th. Is the bus schedule in there too? That's okay. We'll get that on. We'll just make sure that that's shared out later. Okay. All right. Not seeing any other questions at this time, so I'll just wait another couple minutes. If anything else comes through, we'll get it answered, and then we'll say our good nights. Just to reiterate the tour dates that are up here and the application window. So February 1st, which is only 8 days away, the application window will go live. That email address at the bottom, as Ms. Geert said, ccps.lottery@cottonwoodclassical.org, that is a better tool for you than calling the school to get answers. You'll get more accurate information with more certainty because these things can be evolving, and our front desk staff are asked to do a whole lot. It can be hard for them to have answers to every question. And then that window will close on February 28th at the end of the day with the lottery draw happening on St. Patrick's Day this year. with first round decisions, you have about a week. And we have those tours again on February 10th. You can comb our website for all kinds of other information. Mrs. Weaver's trying to put some more things in the description box for you here so you can reference what we've talked about this evening. All right, I think that's it. So again, thank you for joining us this evening live. You've earned yourself the opportunity to sign up early for those tours on February 10th. We appreciate your investment and interest in our school for your child. That means a lot to us, and we thank you for the time. We'll keep this recording on YouTube and do our best to always be open and clear with communication around who we are and what we do and what we mean to offer to this community. So again, thank you all and have a wonderful evening.